just grateful.
That's all for this edition of Dateline. And check out our Talking Dateline podcast. Andrea Canning and Blaine Alexander will go behind the scenes of tonight's episode. Available Wednesday in the Dateline feed wherever you get your podcasts. We'll see you again next Friday at 9, 8 Central. I'm Lester Holt. For all of us at NBC News, good night.
Live from Rhinelander, this is News Watch 12 at 10, the Northwood's best news, with Jessica Jukic, Chief Meteorologist Jeff Weller, and Saul Meyer with sports. News from where you live starts now.
Good evening, I'm Jessica Jukic. On November 5th, Antigo residents will be asked to vote yes or no on a $54 million referendum. This referendum will address the safety and infrastructure challenges the Antigo School District is facing. One of the district's goals is to build a new elementary school to replace the 3 current schools. Some of the most pressing concerns include a lack of space, water, damage, and presence of asbestos. The referendum will not only improve the schools, but attract families and small businesses to the Antigo area.
The importance of investing in our school infrastructure is a long-term economic impact. So with that, I think that moving forward and saying yes to this referendum would mean a lot to our community.
Antigo elementary schools have not been updated since the 1970s, which has led the schools not being ADA compliant. The property tax impact of this referendum would be $100 per every $100,000. The Antigo School District receives state aid, which would lead taxpayers to paying $31 million. October brings many fall activities like Halloween, as well as an awareness for breast cancer. Catching it early can save a person's life. According to the American Cancer Society, breast cancer is the most common cancer diagnosed among women in the U.S. 1 in 8 women in the U.S. will be diagnosed with invasive breast cancer. The American Cancer Society estimates that just over 313,000 new breast cancer cases were seen in 2024. Doing a mammogram screening can help detect cancer early.
We recommend that you do that yearly, especially if you have family history of any cancers, especially breast cancers in first-degree relatives like a parent, a grandparent, a sister, things like that.
Women from the age of 40 to 65 years old are recommended to do yearly mammogram screenings. But if there is a family history of breast cancer, the screening should start as early as 30. Today, the Wisconsin State Superintendent called for a $294 million investment in the 2025-27 biennial budget to improve food access for students with no cost to families. During a press conference in Kenosha, Dr. Jill Underly urgently pointed out that Wisconsin's next generation of leaders must be well fed in order to succeed. The budget requests also ask to bolster local supply chains by encouraging districts to buy food from local farms, as well as increase funding for milk and milk containers in schools across the state. High school football postseason is underway. Coming up, we'll have a look at the games after Weather with Chase right here on Newswatch.
Don't be fooled by Rebecca Cook. Cook proudly supported radicals who want to defund police, end cash bail, and throw open the border. Rebecca Cook, just another liberal trying to fool you. Congressional Leadership Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Are you tired of not being able to use your screened porch when the weather isn't cooperating? The Sunspace Porch Enclosure is the answer with 4-track telescoping vinyl glazed window system, providing 75% airflow. Leisure City, Highway 51 North Woodruff, Sunspace of Minocqua.
For 54 years, they were trying to get Roe v. Wade terminated, and I did it.
He did it.
It was pretty devastating.
He is bragging about the rights that he stole from American women. And Trump is promising to do more. In Project 2025,
They are restricting birth control.
Tracking pregnant women, enforcing a nationwide abortion ban. The government should get out of my business. Stay out of my business.
That's not the government's business.
In America, women make their own decisions.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
Excitement comes standard with the Honda Accord. And so does a turbocharged engine. Sophisticated. High-tech. Style that enhances functionality. Stand out with the Honda Accord. From Honda, the most awarded brand in Car and Driver 10 Best history. Contact your Honda dealer today or shop online.
Get an 11% rebate on everything in Menards. Fire Safety Month is here. Protect your family in case of fire and carbon monoxide emergencies. This carbon monoxide alarm is $13.96 after rebate. Finish your project with Drydex color-changing spacking from DAP. It features a dry time indicator that goes on pink and dries white once it's ready to sand and paint. An 8-ounce container is $2.99 after 11% rebate.
Save big money at Menards.
Let's talk about Rebecca Cook. She's a political operative. She's worked for defund the police radicals across this country.
Cook spent millions getting Mandela Barnes elected, the most anti-law enforcement candidate in Wisconsin's history.
You remember Barnes, the guy who said reducing prison populations was sexy?
Defund the police radicals make it harder for us to keep you safe.
That's why we can't support Rebecca Cook, because she'll never support us. I'm Derek Van Orden, and I approve this message.
Larry is back at Sunspace of Minocqua. We bring the outdoors inside without the bugs, rain, or wind. 3-season rooms fitted with unbreakable telescoping windows. The largest view, custom built to your patio or deck. Leisure City, Highway 51 North, Woodruff, Sunspace of Minocqua.
Don't be fooled by Rebecca Cook. Cook proudly supported radicals who want to defund police, end cash bail, and throw open the border. Rebecca Cook, just another liberal trying to fool you. Congressional Leadership Fund is responsible for the content of this advertisement.
Welcome back, everybody. Hope you're all having a great night tonight. We're going to have a cool one out there with those clear skies, and looks like a breeze from the west-northwest, bringing some cool air in there as well. 42 degrees right now, but we're expecting to dip into those 30s for tonight. Looks like dew points in the low 20s, so pretty dry, and we do have that high pressure back in the area with it above the 30-inch mark. Take a look at highs today. Felt a lot more like fall out there with temperatures in the mid-50s for highs, showing 55 here in town. A little bit cooler up north in Eagle River, around 52, 53 in Minocqua, and we saw those temperatures get a little bit warmer the farther we go down south. There were some 60s down there. We see by Shawano and Wapaka hit 60, and Green Bay hit 62 for their high today. Going to tonight, we have those clear skies and the cool wind coming in from the west-northwest. We'll see temperatures right around the low 30s here in town tonight. I won't be surprised if we see some upper 20s by Land O'Lakes and Eagle River areas up north, and then we can see those temperatures still in the low 30s going all the way down to our southern viewing area, showing even some upper 20s expected, especially by Wisconsin Rapids for tonight. As we go into tomorrow, another cool one with that cool air in place. We'll have some northwest winds. Seeing highs getting right around the low 50s for tomorrow. It's showing upper 40s here. That is possible, but we're going to have lots of sun for tomorrow. So it should be getting up into right around 50, 51, maybe even 52 degrees for highs tomorrow in our area. Could definitely expect some mid-50s down south, though, where the temperatures are usually a little bit warmer, especially by Rome. They're showing 53. Could get up to 55 degrees for tomorrow. As we take a look at our temperature trend, we're going to continue to warm up going into the beginning of the work week. Monday, we will see a high right around 62 degrees. And then we got one more day of 70s left in us on Tuesday with a high right around 72. Then we have that cold front coming again. Thursday, highs only in the upper 40s and low 50s on Friday, so that fall-like weather will be back in the forecast. But for this weekend, as you can see, looks like no rain in the forecast. We can see just some clouds over Saturday night and then clearing up again in the afternoon on Sunday with some more cloud cover coming in Sunday night ahead of another front coming into Tuesday. We will have some breezy winds going into tomorrow afternoon. As we see right right now. We have a little bit of breezy winds as well. Dying off a little bit tonight, then gusting around 14, 15 miles per hour in most of our viewing area for tomorrow from the northwest. Then those winds will switch from the southwest, and that's where we're going to have that warm up. And they will be a little bit more breezier. We see right around 20 miles per hour here in town, gusting up to 25 a little bit farther down south near Marshfield. And as we take a look into tonight's forecast, we'll have mostly clear skies. Winds will be gusting still right around 15 miles per hour, but usually right around 5 to 10 sustained. Lows right around 30 degrees. And going into tomorrow, mostly sunny skies. We'll have low 50s, though, so we're going to feel like fall for sure out there. Winds will be right around from the west-northwest, highs right around 51 degrees. Taking a look at your 7-day forecast, we can see going into Monday, we have 60s back in the forecast, 70s back on Tuesday. Then we have that rain coming Wednesday. And for Halloween, we'll have a high of 49 degrees. Jessica?
Thanks, Chase. Here's this week's Big Old Fish.
Newswatch 12's Big Old Fish is brought to you by Kurt's Island Sport Shop in Minocqua. Little Annie and her mom were digging for fishing bait by the shore. Uncovering a many-legged creature, Annie proudly dangled it before her mom. "No, honey, it won't do for bait," she said. "It's not an earthworm." "It's not?" Annie asked, her eyes wide. "What planet is it from?" First entry today is from Richard Young. Richard caught this 25-inch walleye on a minnow in Tomahawk. Way to bring in that big old fish, Richard. Was fishing on Lake Julian when he caught his first ever muskie. Coming in at 42.5 inches, that muskie is a big old fish and the first of many Cole will catch. Our final entry of the day comes from Renee Avery, who caught and released this 34-inch tiger muskie. Posing in the photo is Renee's husband, Tobin. Renee has caught other big old fish in the past, including a 40-inch muskie this year. Anglers, for your chance to win a fish mount from Norling Taxidermy Studio in Rhinelander, enter the Big Old Fish contest at WHFW.com or send us your photo and description of your catch. Brought to you by Kurt's Island Sport Shop in Minocqua. Happy...
Under Kamala, there's been a big hike in Medicare premiums. Social Security benefits don't go far with Kamala's inflation slamming seniors. Now Kamala wants struggling seniors to pay more Social Security taxes, while she gives Medicare and Social Security to illegals. That will doom Medicare. President Trump will make sure no one cuts Medicare or Social Security. Trump lowered Medicare premiums, and he'll end the tax on Social Security.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Saturday, October 26th, the Wisconsin Department of Justice is holding a free prescription drug and sharps take-back event. If you have unused or unwanted medications, ointments, patches, non-aerosol sprays, inhalers, vials, or pet medication, clean out your medicine cabinets. Don't let your old medication fall into the wrong hands by disposing of the medications properly. For more information on locations and accepted items, go to doseofrealitywi.gov. This information is brought to you by the Human Service Center of Forest, Vilas, and Oneida County.
You have a clear choice in this election. Senator Baldwin is a 38-year career politician. I'm a businessman and job creator. She supports taxpayer benefits for illegal immigrants. I'll close the border. Tammy wants to put guys and girls sports in their bathrooms. I'll protect our daughters. Senator Baldwin abuses the political system. I'll fight the corruption. I'm Eric Hovde, and I approve this message. I'd be honored to have your vote.
Beatlemania lives on. The Fab Four presents USA Meets the Beatles, a 60th anniversary concert. The ultimate tribute to the Beatles' arrival to America, plus all the Beatles' greatest hits. November 14th, the Grand Theater, Wausau. Witness the best Beatles show in the world in a show for the whole family. Don't miss the Fab Four, USA Meets the Beatles. Tickets on sale now at the Grand's ticket office or at grandtheater.org.
Eric Hovde's trying to scare you. The truth is, no sex change surgeries take place on minors in Wisconsin. Zero. And Tammy Baldwin didn't give funding to a transgender clinic. It's actually a youth homeless shelter. Eric Hovde knows that. But he's a billionaire banker who thinks he can lie about anything, including falsely attacking Tammy Baldwin by questioning her personal life. Wisconsin's better than Eric Hovde.
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
Sue right, Jake middle, me on the left.
Yeah, I knew I'd win.
Are you saying
What's
something?
really happening over there?
I think you're on mute.
There's no substitute for real gaming fun. Go where fun lives. Ho-Chunk Gaming Wittenberg.
Coming up on News Watch 12 today, we'll be joined by Kate Heidemann for another edition of Race Watch 12.
Sounds like fun. Temperatures warm up for a little bit next week. More when you tune in on your Monday from 5 to 7 a.m.
Friday Night Blitz is brought to you by Merrill Steel, Rock Oil Refining, and Sweetwater Spirits and Resort. Your Blitz starts now.
Welcome back to the Friday Night Blitz. I'm Saul Meyer, and that is my partner, Drew Chelly. Drew, it's playoff time.
Best time of the year. Good chunk of our area teams didn't make it, but boy, we had plenty of teams make it, and we did have some seasons end tonight.
Oh, absolutely, and that's what happens in this playoff team. It's survive and advance from here on out.
One and done, and sometimes in the playoffs, you're going to see a team that you might have already seen in the regular season.
And that's exactly what happened tonight. Medford took down Lakeland Union 40-8 in Minocqua, and now those teams will face off once again, only this time with the season on the line. It's the top-seeded Raiders hosting the 8th-seeded T-Birds in our News Watch 12 Game of the Week. Will Harrelson is there with the result. Will?
It was an all-GNC affair in the opening round of the WIAA Division III playoffs as Medford took on Lakeland Union. The T-Birds had revenge on their mind as they look to avenge a Week 5 loss to these very Raiders. However, Medford's looking for a little repeat of history. This game started out just how every Raiders fan wanted, with a big play. Evan Wilkins takes the handoff, picks up a great block, and is going to take this one to the house for the early Raider lead. T-Birds looking to respond. On third down, Declan McQuaid hits Evan Zock to move the chains for a Lakeland first down. Later in the half, and the T-Birds are threatening. McQuaid hoists one into the end zone, but it gets picked off by Wilkins in the end zone for a clutch touchback. Wilkins had this to say about his big first half.
I mean, we knew with our number one back being a little shaken up that I was going to carry a little bit more work on my shoulders this week, but prepped for it all week and just did my thing.
In the second quarter, and it was more the same for Wilkins. He gets the handoff and gets to the outside and say goodbye as he is going to take this one all the way to the end zone for another touchdown. He had this to say about the performance of his offensive line.
First half was great. We were moving bodies all over. Second half, we came out really sluggish, but we'll clean that up next week.
In the second half, it was more the same for the Raiders. Power run game as Rothmeyer takes the handoff and powers into the end zone for another Medford score. Raiders go on to win this one 28-7. Wilkins spoke about how it feels to get the win.
You know, playoff win's a playoff win no matter how it comes, but like I said, got to clean a lot of things up for next week.
Well, there you have it. Medford with another dominant victory as they move on to the next round and are starting to look like one of the best teams in Division III football. Well, that's going to do it for now. Reporting here in Medford, I'm Will Harrelson, Newswatch 12.
Thanks for that, Will. The Great Northern Conference champs advance, but what about the runner-ups? Mosinee has had some unlucky couple of past seasons, to say the least, when it comes to postseason football, and they were looking to help break that curse tonight with a win at home over Ellsworth. So let's see if they could do it and advance to the next round. In the first quarter, Mosinee was driving. Treve Stoffel keeps the handoff himself and takes it, and the kid can do it with his legs. He gets the Mosinee first down. That set up this play on the goal line fake handoff. It's a reverse. Corday Wright runs it and outruns every Panther on the field for a touchdown, and it's 7-0 Mosinee. However, Ellsworth took this one in a great game. Panthers get a first down on the bubble screen, and Ellsworth's going to go on to win this thing 28-21.
Well, one team that has its fair share of playoff success, I'm not going to call it luck because it's success, it's Stratford. They're on their home field tonight. We start in the first quarter. Tigers hand the ball off to Brooks Vanderhoof, and he makes a nice cut. He gains 15 and a first down. 4th and goal at the 1. Vanderhoof going to finish what he started. He punches it in. Touchdown, Tigers. Later in the quarter, you're not going to find many better quarterbacks in the area. Jack Tubbs going deep, connects with Caleb Wrench, who is wide open. Stratford, the path towards a three-peat. They're rolling. They win it 48-14 over Horicon Hustisburg.
Let's take a look at some scores from other playoff games in our area. First off, Spash's season came to an end at the hands of Madison Memorial in Madison, 33-21. Next, DC Everest saw that 7th seed and took it personally, blowing out 2nd-seeded Hudson 50-21 on the road. Crandon fell to 2nd-seeded Bonduelle 35-14, and finally Amherst advanced after taking down Oostburg at home 35-12. You know, what a great bunch of games we saw tonight, Drew.
DC Everest, we got to say, that team is not a 7 seed. They shouldn't have been a 7 seed. Whatever system gave them a 7 seed needs to be fixed. That team is way too good to be seeded 7th. They proved it.
And they'll prove it next week, too. They have to. We're not done yet. Stay tuned. The Blitz is back after.
Live real estate auction, Hiles, Wisconsin, November 2nd. Beautiful home with 150 feet of sandy frontage on Pine Lake, selling regardless of price. Colonel Renee Brass and St. Louis Auctions.
He's supposed to serve Wisconsin, but Derek Van Orden doesn't care about making our lives better. Van Orden wants to repeal the law that stops insurance companies from denying coverage if you have a pre-existing health condition. He'd make Wisconsinites pay just to give huge tax cuts to corporations and the wealthy. Van Orden even sides with extremists who tried to cut Social Security. Wisconsin deserves better, and Derek Van Orden does not belong in Congress.
HMP is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Look at how soft your towels are, Grandma.
Soft water really helps with that, and the soap savings really adds up. Did you know that it's less expensive to heat soft water than it is hard water?
Wow, that's great savings and good for the environment. Having good water does make a big difference in our family.
Speaking of family, look who it is.
Any service tech servicing your water equipment, call us at Maher's today.
What? No peanut butter and jelly sandwich today?
Maher Water, 888-796-2437.
It was a Christmas snowstorm. My whole leg swelled up. My doctor said to get to the ER immediately. Surgery went well, but then I got billed. I struggled with the VA bureaucracy for months. Then I called Tom Tiffany. 9 days later, the VA paid my bill. The doctor saved my leg, Tom saved me from medical debt, and he got me my veteran benefits when no one else could.
I'm Tom Tiffany, and I approve this message.
Are you ready to take control of your retirement? If you're 59 and a half or have recently changed jobs, it may be time to consider a 401k rollover. With a rollover, you can consolidate your old retirement accounts into a single investment vehicle. Say goodbye to scattered funds and hello to more diversified options. A rollover gives you the freedom to choose from a wider range of options tailored to your unique financial goals. Don't let your retirement savings gather dust. Reach out to speak to one of our advisors today to explore the benefits of a 401k rollover.
Spas. The Swim Spa Hot Tub and Sauna Show. This weekend only inside the Central Wisconsin Convention and Expo Center, Rothschild. Millions of inventory must be sold. Prices are slashed up to 60% off retail. So save thousands. Save big on new hot tub spas and saunas. Also cold tubs. Plus, see the Michael Phelps Signature Swim Spas by Master Spas.
Hi, I'm Michael Phelps. Join the swimming revolution.
The Swim Spa Hot Tub and Sauna Show. This weekend only inside the Central Wisconsin Convention and Expo Center, Rothschild. Visit 800spasale.com.
Have you heard Eric Hovde?
I am totally opposed to abortion.
I am totally opposed to politicians telling women what we can do.
Extremists all over the country have passed abortion bans.
Criminal penalties for doctors.
No exceptions for rape or incest.
Women are dying just trying to get health care.
There are even restrictions in Wisconsin. This has to stop.
I am totally opposed to abortion.
We are totally opposed to Eric Hovde.
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
Join the Caring for the Mind Conference October 30th, 2024 at the Pines Event Center in Rhinelander. Call Oneida County Health Department today. Friday Night Blitz on Newswatch 12. Your Blitz starts now.
Welcome back to the Friday Night Blitz. I'm Saul Meyer, and that is my partner, Drew Kelly. Drew, we already saw a great bunch of games tonight, but we're not done yet.
No, we are not. Edgar, defending D7 state champs, and their quest for a repeat starts tonight with the Wildcats hosting Pittsville. It was a loud crowd tonight supporting the defending state champions. Let's start this one in the second quarter. Pittsville driving. Liam Parkinson is going to roll out to his right. He's going to fire into coverage, but it is Dawson Luther who comes up with the first down catch. Edgar defense would take over from here. Will Hackle off the edge. He stuffs the Pittsfield run in the backfield. But the play of the night belonged to Gavin Maurer. He intercepts this ball in the end zone. And why take a knee when you can just do this? He's going to make a couple men miss down the sideline. He was running forever. He's gone. 103-yard interception return. Edgar goes on to win this one, 36-0.
Now to Tom Field, where Wausau East is hosting Fox Valley Lutheran. In the second quarter, it was the Jesse Napgazit show. Ball gets thrown up in the air, and he comes down with it, turns his body, and dives into the end zone for a touchdown. But he was not done there, not by a long shot. Davis Winters scrambles, heaves up a long ball, and you just got mossed. Napgazit catches the ball over 3 defenders, and East is rolling, but the Foxes were rolling too. They hit a reverse that fakes out everyone, even our cameraman. It was me. I was the cameraman who got faked out. And Nicholas Martin runs into the end zone for a touchdown. Fox Valley Lutheran, they're going to go on to win this thing 44-41.
And some other scores tonight in the area. Merrill, they had Onalaska on upset alert and then some before falling 13-8. Leona Wabino, despite a late rally, fell on the road 30-22 against Elkhart Lake. Newman Catholic saw their season come to an end on the road. They fell 52-8 at the hands of McDonald Catholic. Abbotsford advanced with a win at home. They came away with a 42-28 win over Nakusa.
What a great bunch of games we saw tonight, Drew, but we are not done with our show. That's all the time we got for the Friday Night Blitz. But after the break, as many of y'all know, our colleague Jessica Jukic, it's her last show at Newswatch 12, so we'll be sure to send her off and say our final goodbyes. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after the break.
In a country where dreams are woven into the fabric of the nation, Rock Oil is driven by the spirit of the American dream. Environmentally, we take pride in our oil processing technology and related waste recycling. Fueled by passion, innovation, and patriotism, we're proud to be an American company.
Insanity. Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result.
Would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind.
Kamala wouldn't change a thing. Their weakness invited wars, welfare for illegals, while Americans struggle. Now Kamala wants higher taxes on top of higher prices. We can't afford 4 more years of Kamala.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
A hard day's work makes for a good night's rest. A good night's rest calls for a good cup of coffee. Some good coffee prepares it for the workday ahead. That workday promises dirt, stains, and a good sweat. A good sweat shows you had a hard day's work. And when that day is done, you do it all again tomorrow. And you live for tomorrow. Because tomorrow you can do it better and build it bigger.
My husband and I were elated to find out that we would be having another baby. But after many tests, my doctors agreed that we had to terminate the pregnancy. It was the worst day of my life. You should know that Eric Hubdy supports laws that stop me and my doctor from making that decision. And that's a ban with no exceptions in cases of rape or incest. It's a ban that could turn doctors into criminals. He opposes abortion, period.
Win Senate is responsible for the content of this ad.
Who does Derek Van Orden think he is? This guy who reportedly shouted at kids in the U.S. Capitol? I don't give a who you are. I'm a congressman.
Derek Van Orden doesn't care about making our lives better. He'd make Wisconsinites pay just to give huge tax cuts to corporations and the wealthy. Van Orden even sides with extremists who tried to cut Social Security. Wisconsin deserves better, and Derek Van Orden does not belong in Congress.
HMP is responsible for the content of this advertising.
I'm sick and tired of getting ripped off by career politicians. And Tammy Baldwin, she's one of the worst. Baldwin's in bed with Wall Street. While she sleeps in her girlfriend's $1 million condo in New York City, Wisconsin families are getting hammered by high inflation and handouts for illegal immigrants. Tammy and her girlfriend are living large while Wisconsin families foot the bill. Frankly, it's time for Tammy Baldwin to go.
I'm Eric Hovde, and I approve this message. Join my team and give today.
Sweetwater Spirits and Resort is open throughout the year. Dine in with a great view of Duck Lake. Carryout is also available. Enjoy roasted chicken, shrimp, burgers, pizza, Friday night fish fry, and Saturday night prime rib. Great happy hour deals Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 and live music on the weekends. Sweetwater Spirits and Resort is family friendly and opens at 11 a.m. daily. Find us on Facebook to view nightly specials.
Serving our community and our environment, Rock Oil Refining in Stratford specializes in turning used motor oil and antifreeze back into pure raw materials and custom finished products. Premium quality, affordable prices, environmentally responsible. Rock Oil Refining.
Well, it's a sad night. Today's my last night at Newswatch 12. After more than 2 years, I'm saying goodbye, and I'd like to thank everyone in the Northwoods for showing their love and support and being so welcoming. Here's a look back at some fun moments we shared together. Life can be stressful, but taking a moment to stop and breathe can help. In tonight's edition of Feel Great Today, we'll discuss what meditation is and how it's beneficial. Good evening and welcome to Wausau. I'm Jessica Jukic. We're here live at the annual Balloon Fest, and today we'll celebrate Wausau and Marathon County by featuring stories from the area. Punxsutawney Phil is now a proud dad to 2 baby groundhogs. His wife Phyllis has just given birth to the healthy babies. That's according to the Groundhog Club. The infants are spending their first days with their parents at the Punxsutawney Memorial Library. How cute!
Did you say his wife?
Phyllis.
Did we miss the Punxsutawney wedding?
Yes, apparently we did. Not sure, but they have babies now.
I think they got married after his projection was right? She was probably intrigued, and she's like, we gotta just get married. That was amazing.
I love putting the bacon, making it kind of before so it's more crispy when you put it on top and when it bakes.
You gotta do that. All right,
yeah. A lot of fun times we shared. I'll miss you guys.
You will be missed. You'll be very missed.
Thank you, Hans.
Very nice.
Our 5 and 6 producer. Thank you, Hans.
We love you, Jessica, and we wish you the best.
Thank you. And I'll miss everyone in the Northwoods. It was great being in your living room every night. Have a great weekend.
Washington is corrupt. Senator Baldwin says she fights against Wall Street, and yet she lives with a Wall Street executive and gets all this money from Wall Street. She says she's standing up to Big Pharma and Big Tech, but look at the money she rakes in from Big Pharma, Big Tech, and their executives. Senator Baldwin doesn't work for you. She works for them. I'm Eric Hovde. I approve this message. I'm not taking their special interest money. I'll only work for you.
Larry is back at Sunspace of Minocqua. Sunspace has been serving the area for over 25 years. We bring the outdoors inside without the bugs, rain, or wind. A Sunspace sunroom from Sunspace from Minocqua is the answer. The 3-season rooms fitted with unbreakable telescoping windows, the largest view, custom built to your patio or deck. Enjoy the outdoors today without the bugs, rain, or wind. Contact Sunspace of Minocqua to schedule your free estimate today. Come see our displays at Leisure City.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
Donald Trump makes a lot of promises, but we can be sure of one thing. If he wins, he'll ignore all checks that rein in a president's power. It's all in Trump's Project 2025 agenda. What does that mean for you? Higher cost on groceries, cuts to Social Security and Medicare, more tax breaks for billionaires, and a national abortion ban putting women's health at risk. A second Trump term, more unhinged, unstable, and unchecked.
I'm Rebecca Cook, and like most folks in Wisconsin, I'm somewhere in the middle.
Oh, please. Don't be fooled by Rebecca Cook. She made her living trying to elect Democrat extremists. Cook proudly supported radicals who want to defund police, end cash bail, and throw open the border. No wonder extremists like AOC are spending big bucks to elect liberals like Cook. Rebecca Cook, just another liberal trying to fool you. Congressional Leadership Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Pat Snyder has compared abortion to genocide and described women who've had them as absolutely disgusting. But it's his record against women's health care that's really ugly. Snyder voted to keep an 1849 law that bans abortion even for rape and incest and punishes doctors and nurses with jail time. Snyder is so extreme that he even voted against guaranteeing access to contraception. Pat Snyder thinks he knows better. He trusts Wisconsin women to make their own health care decisions.
25 years in D.C. can change a person.
Take Tammy Baldwin. Decades ago, she focused on Wisconsin. Today, she's just too extreme. Baldwin's record, nearly $1 billion for criminals in prison, including the Boston Marathon bomber, forcing Wisconsin women's domestic violence shelters to admit biological men, and supporting sex change surgeries for minor children. We thought we knew Tammy Baldwin, but she's changed. She's too extreme for Wisconsin. Senate Leadership Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Eric Hovde's trying to scare you. The truth is, no sex change surgeries take place on minors in Wisconsin. 0. And Tammy Baldwin didn't give funding to a transgender clinic. It's actually a youth homeless shelter. Eric Hovde knows that. But he's a billionaire banker who thinks he can lie about anything, including falsely attacking Tammy Baldwin by questioning her personal life. Wisconsin's better than Eric.